Okay, I know you're super excited. We're going to be talking about diagramming adjective clauses tonight. So let's review really quickly. A dependent clause has a subject and a verb, but it cannot stand alone. So, for example, the sentence or the dependent clause, because I like cheese, if I just say that without something to attach it to, the sentence is incomplete. It's just a dependent clause, and you have to have the dependent and the independent clause for it to be a sentence. Okay, an adjective clause is a dependent clause that acts as an adjective. So if we look at the definition of the dependent clause, it's going to have a subject and a verb, and it can't stand alone, but the whole clause is going to act as an adjective. So one thing you do need to know, if you have one or more dependent clause, so let's say you have an adjective clause, and then you add an independent clause, this is called a complex sentence. Just like when you have two independent clauses, you have a compound sentence. This is a complex sentence with the dependent clause and the independent clause. Okay, so the question is, how do I diagram an adjective clause? First of all, you obviously have to figure out where the adjective clause is, and in this sentence, the boy that likes chicken is weird. That likes chicken is the adjective clause. So what we first need to do is we want to diagram the independent clause, and the independent clause is the boy is weird. So we know how to diagram that. Very simple. Now we need to diagram the dependent clause. Okay? So our subject is that, our verb is like, and the direct object is chicken. Now you need to connect the two just like we would with like a compound sentence, but the connection is going to be a little bit different. We connect the relative pronoun to the word in the clause that it describes. So for example, in this one, that likes chicken, we know it's describing the boy, so we need to have the connection between the boy and the relative pronoun. Okay, so go ahead and practice these. What you do need to know on the last one, number 3, that I'd like to visit, is a little more difficult. The relative pronoun's not in the subject spot, so you're going to have to figure out where it belongs. Also, make sure that you see in number 3 there is an infinitive, so you need to diagram that correctly as well. Make sure you take the quiz, and I will see you tomorrow.